Hello and welcome to this character creation channel. I already created some characters using Nave, but now I want to go in a different direction and create characters for Liminal Horror, the game based on Into the Odd for paranormal modern investigation kinds of games, where normal people stumble into the supernatural and change. I think that's like the theme. Like liminal horror, it means liminal spaces like hotels and tunnels and stuff, but also the characters. They are also liminal because they change diegetically during the game, not level-wise. But that doesn't matter, I'm just going to create some characters. I hope the sunlight isn't too bad. I can't really change it. And I'm using my trusted method of pulling some random. I have this hole puncher, and then I went to the bookstore, the used bookstore, the thrift store actually, secondhand shop, and I just found a lot of pictures and cut them out. And this is these modern ones I got. I haven't got that many, and right now they are all from a card game. Some kind of movie quiz game with movie pictures on them. And I didn't include Frankenstein monster, I just kept these pictures because they are from some cool movies. Yeah. But those are cut out from cards just like that, and I'm gonna pull a random picture. Okay. This guy, I think I've seen him before. It's one of those characters you've seen in a lot of movies, but you never know what his name is. So yeah, that's cool. He's a cool character. Then I take my glue and I glue this picture. Oops. I glue it onto the character sheet right over here. Oh, yeah. In the notes section. Why not? Doesn't matter. Okay. And I haven't created characters in Liminal Horror before, so I don't know what to do yet. Overview, principle for play, background, creating an investigator. In Liminal Horror, players are investigators, otherwise normal people caught up in mysteries that threaten to end their lives or break them down and change them. Investigators might be searching for answers, trying to save a friend, looking for resonant artifacts. Okay, that's just examples. Or simply trying to live to see another day. Let's see what... like resonant artifacts, I could use these Umbra system neutral cards for fantasy role-playing games. Deck of relics. For like special items. That's of course more for a fantasy setting, but it's meant for all kinds of games because all the effects are diegetic. You just have to translate them into the system you're using. But I'm gonna wait. Let's see. For the tables on the following pages, roll to select options at random or choose favorites. Work with the facilitator, the GM, to make custom investigators. Okay, ability scores. Roll 3d6 for each ability score. Strength. What's this? Max. Current. I don't know. It's because in this game, in the Into the Odd and Cairn games, when you lose all your hit protection, you take damage to a strength. So you would need a current status and a max. So he's got 11 strength. 9, also 11 dex. Very average kind of guy. Oh, 12, 17 in control. So he's, and control is some kind of like mental or emotional strength. Okay, interesting. Or not that interesting yet, but who cares? You may swap any two results. This is expanded on in ability scores. He doesn't look like the strongest guy or the most dexterous guy, so actually it might be okay with 17 in control. Okay, hit protection. 1d6. Now I'm not going to use these. I'm going to use my Runehammer dice from the United States. These were expensive. The dice themselves, then the shipping and the customs on top. 3. So I'm going to write some 3 out of 3. So he's at max hit protection now. Okay, starting gear. Each investigator begins with a smartphone. Smart. When do we stop calling them smartphones? Can't we just call them phones? It's just a normal phone by now. But yeah, a smartphone is for like a flashlight and a camera. And he's also got 1d6 times 100 cash, 200 cash, 200 bucks. I think this is gonna take place in the US. Additional starting equipment is provided through backgrounds or archetypes. Many of these items can be used as a weapon if needed for d6 damage. Players may also use their cash to purchase items from the equipment list. Okay. Backgrounds. Roll 1d20 or choose either a background or archetype if using an official module. I'm not using an official module, so I'm just gonna take backgrounds. Backgrounds are the default starting point for new investigators. They represent a basic profession, skill or point of interest to provide a starting context for an investigator. For investigators. And include several related items. It's just like Naive actually. They are a base to build from using the remaining elements of investigator creation. And archetypes are expanded backgrounds that can be found in the Bureau, the Bloom, and the Deluxe Edition. By the way, this is the Investigators Edition. I also got the original, but this is a newer one, and soon the Deluxe Edition will go on Kickstarter, and I'm looking forward to that very much. I haven't ever played this, but I love it. Let's see who he was. A mechanic, of course. So I'm just gonna write it here, background. I'm just gonna write here, Max. A mechanic. Okay, and that gives him a adjustable wrench. Which deals d6 damage, of course. Portable toolbox. Portable toolbox, electrical tape, brake cleaner, I have been reading one of the adventures, the one with the one night at the Shelterwood Inn. He would be very handy there because all the cars have got mold in them. So he would have been able to clean it maybe. But yeah, that's his archetype. Then down here it says, I'm an English teacher, not fucking Tomb Raider. From The Descent from 2006. That's cool. So it's got all kinds of movie quotes. I haven't read this at all. I read the old one and then I got this recently. And I actually got The Descent on DVD from a thrift store. Because it's a very Dungeon Delvey movie, I heard. Okay, optional investigator details. These tables can be used to flesh out details for your character. Let's see his aesthetics actually. What is he wearing? Or what style does he have in clothing? 46. Oops, I'm used to knave with the D100. D20 of course. Oh, 1. All business, all the time. Aesthetics. All business all the time. Which means, of course, mechanics clothes. All the time. He is his job. His job is his identity. The abyss stares back. Let's see, that's a D10. So I think the abyss stares back is about how did he come around to learning about the supernatural. Or something beyond the veil, as you normally say. 4. You survived an attack you cannot explain. Survived an attack I can't explain. Interesting. Ideology and beliefs. What lens do they use to interpret the world and guide them towards action? That's also nice. His ideology, you believe in fate and it directly impacts your life. Believe in fate. It directly impacts my life. So this was meant to happen. This attack was meant to happen to me. I have a mission. Then these are all the tables from, I think they're inspired from the first Knave game maybe. And also Cairn game. But I think it's way too much normally. And especially when I play with a picture. I have this picture, that's enough. But normally if you roll on all these tables, like 6 different tables, you can't remember all of them. So I would normally just pick one interesting thing. Like you would roll 1d6 and then choose the corresponding table and then just roll on that. Because if you think about a character, they normally got 1 or 2 or 3 interesting things about them. Like the killer in the Da Vinci Code, he's an albino. Harry Potter has a scar and the glasses, and etc. Okay, the party. I'm not creating a party, so I'm not going to use the party rules here. So that's cool. Vehicles and equipment. As a group, determine what type of vehicle or transportation the party has, based on their backgrounds and archetypes. Okay. If it makes sense, The party may have access to more than one vehicle. Car chases are often an essential part of solving a mystery. And then there's an appendix about vehicles. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna write vehicle. Like a mechanics SUV. With some tools in them. Whatever's reasonable. So and I think it needs some kind of logo on the side. I haven't decided on a name yet. But like a good mechanics name, wrench. The I don't know yet. Okay, he doesn't have any protection, improvised or crude weapon. He's got his adjustable wrench already. That's what he got. He doesn't have a gun, stuff like that. Actually, maybe he bought a gun. Oh, can I buy? Oh yeah, I can buy stuff. So, did I roll for money? I think I did. 200 bucks. Okay, so I don't have money for a pistol. That's 500 bucks. Hand weapon, dagger, baton, or axe. I got my wrench. That's enough for now. No explosive, no pharmaceuticals, no investigation gear. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff. A blowtorch for welding, that's 250. Okay, it's too much. Climbing gear, fake ID. All kinds of cool stuff. Car opening kit. He's already able to open cars. Come on. A bear trap maybe. Binoculars. I don't know. And then there's rules. I think that's it. Oh, so actually, investigator's gear is the last step. Drone, directional microphone, walkie-talkies, climbing gear. Nah, I think he's got what he's got. That's more interesting. So he survived an attack that he cannot explain. This is where you could use the Cult Tarot deck. Actually, I'm not that impressed with it. Nice big cards though. But most of the cards just look like this. It's quite boring actually. And then you have to look in the table in the book what it means. And that would be to determine the force behind something. Maybe he ventures into a place that's controlled by this and this force or entity from the cult lore. The cool cards though are these ones. The major arcana, I don't know what they're called in cult. Like Chagidiel or Gebura. But still it doesn't really say anything about what does it mean? Anthropos, well that means human. But what is the entity of Hod in the cult setting? You would just have to look in the book. So they are not that handy actually. I think you could learn those at heart, or what do you call it? Sathariel. Nahemoth. And that would be okay. But I'm not familiar with it yet. Maybe you would use that to create an adventure instead for some cool places. For now, I'm just gonna take my pocket tarot deck of the Wild Unknown and see what card I get. These are way nicer than the tarot cult deck. I think the tarot deck for the cult game is overpriced and not that useful, because you might as well, if you have to use the book to use the cards, then why can't you just have a table in the book? I think it's kind of I'm disappointed, but not by this. I'm not disappointed by this because this is cool. The Hanged Man, and then there's a bat. So you could take this in the literal sense. He was attacked by some bat creature, or by the Hanged Man. Maybe he was the Hanged Man. He survived an attack he can't explain. He was hanged. Normal people don't get hanged anymore. It's out of fashion nowadays. So, what does it mean? Well, when you're hanged, you die by asphyxiation. Isn't it called asphyxiation? So he drove along the road in his mechanic's car, in his former mechanic's car, not the one he has now, and he drove off the cliffside or into the harbor or whatever, and he was drowning, and he was alone. It was at night. He was on his way home, and then he just woke up in his apartment, and there was a bat outside the window, and he survived that incident. Oh, and it's supposed to be an attack. So yeah, he was driving his truck along the shoreline, and something attacked his truck, like something bumped into the car from the side, boom, and the car just flew out into the water. But then he woke up in his apartment, and that's how he knew that he's going to investigate the supernatural. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. And then I'm finished with this guy, actually. I still need a name generator in modern settings. I don't have that. Why doesn't it have that? I just need a phone book. I don't have a phone book. Wait a second. But as an additional resource, you can always use Silent Legions by Kevin Crawford, who's also known for what's it called? Space Without Number, Stars Without Numbers, Worlds Without Number, and so on. And I think this creating a character on page 3. Does it have a name? A name generator? Not so sure. Why doesn't it have a name generator? It's supposed to have that. No. Okay, so I don't have a name generator for a normal standard setting. Modern setting. That's weird. Not Delta Green either, but I'm just gonna find a name. No. Here. Nope. Nope. I need some other text. Ah. Now I got it. Here it is. Table Fables Modern. Characters. Character generator. Page 9. Pronouns, height, build. Features. Eye color, hair. Blah blah blah. Grooming habits. clothing tendencies, number of tattoos, number of scars, scar location, other scars, personality, parents, siblings, childhood. Or you can really flesh out the character. But again, it's I believe in less is more. Just give him some interesting feature and not too much. The rest will evolve during play. Okay, masculine names. Right. Number 6, Benjamin. And last name, 48, Mustafa, Benjamin Mustafa. Cool name, very cool name actually. Actually a quite memorable name, if I can remember it. Benjamin Mustafa. Oh, background was up here, mechanic. So I think that's it. And I'm gonna write about the background I just talked about onto this, and then this is a pre-gen character that I'm gonna send to ManAlone, the YouTuber who's right now creating a database of pre-gen characters for different games. So I'm gonna contribute to that with this character. Thanks a lot for watching. Goodbye.